standards for storm drainage and town roads. We'll start with you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Councilman Mary?
Here.
Councilman O'Brien? Here. Councilman Malone? Councilman Manning? Present. Town of East Greenbush notice of public hearing. Please take notice the town board of the town of East Greenbush has scheduled a public hearing at 6:45 p.m. on Wednesday, June 15, 2011, at the town hall of the town of East Greenbush to consider a local law to get proposed highway and drainage standards was compiled by the Chasing Companies to add to the road and drainage specifications of the town's design standards. By orders of the town board and Kennedy Town Clerk, it was posted, published, and put on the
Thank
website.
you, Linda. What I'll do is, and I know the engineers love this, so I'm going to ask Richie or Matt, either one, if they'd like to just go over quickly, just give a quick background on why this was done, the purpose of it, and what we're going to do. Don't fight, guys, you know?
So basically done so that it's just a townwide standard that's always the same road drainage for developers. They come in, they look at it, they can't argue it. It's just, so only roads and drainage is going to be the same throughout the town.
This was created by Chasing Engineering with our help to develop these advanced standards. We have been using standards, DOT standards prior to this, and we have upgraded to increase the protection for the town on some of the roads, the depth of the asphalt, the compaction, some of the other items that are specific in here for to meet new standards and to meet the new New York State EC manual that comes out for stormwater drainage. We've had it around, we've been working on it for a couple of years, and we've finally finalized it, and we're asking for the board to adopt it as a local law, so that when developers do come in, there's no questions considering how the roads, the drainage shall be placed, they can be measured by it. And we feel that this is a very good document to for any of the developers to. It's going to be their Bible, because that's what they're going to have to live by.
Thank you, guys. You did spend a lot of time with this with Adrian, and we're prepared for the future. What I'll do now is simply as we do it, would anybody like to speak in favor of our new storm drainage and road specification plans?
No,
Oh, she was waiting.
I
I can think of it.
I have a question about the drainage.
Yeah.
I've been,
Could you state your name and address, sir?
My name's Quentin Curtis. I live at 12 Connecticut Avenue. I've been a resident for 20 years now. For the last 10 years, all I've heard is we're supposed to get drainage on Connecticut Avenue, from the school all the way down to Sherwood Avenue. Every year, we hear the same thing. Next year, next year, next year, next year. 10 years gone by. This year, you're only doing 3 houses in front of 3 houses on one side of the street, and you're only doing drainage on 4 houses on the other side of the street. It doesn't do me any good, because when it rains, all the water comes down from the school, goes under my storm drain, under my driveway, which in turn doesn't let the flow from my neighbor to my property go through that drain, and it comes up, and I get a lake in my backyard every year. This year, you're only doing, like I said, 3 houses on one side, 4 on the other, and it doesn't do me any good. Why aren't you doing the whole block?
Well, this is not the venue for that, but since you're here, we answered it, we got some time, and Dave just walked in. Oh, Dave is our...
Well, part of the problem is we get blown off every year. It's next year, nobody can give us an answer. You sat up at the Temple Winning meeting and told my wife personally that it was going to be done that year, and it never happened.
And what we did do some drainage repair. We also did the road that year.
Well, no, you didn't do any drainage. You know why? Because like I said, I've been there for 20 years. The storm drain under my driveway is probably about 50 years old. It's the old steel ones. and all we're doing is getting some minor work done. There's a catch basin. You know where that is? 2/3 down the block, almost towards Sherwood Avenue. It's not in front of my house, it's not in front of everybody's, but now you're doing it only halfway down the block. It doesn't fix the water problem. It does not do a damn thing.
Okay, Dave. As I was saying, Dave is our Commissioner of Public Works.
When I've just come into this, okay, this year, and from what I'm told, there was a survey that went out a few years back, asking people if they had sump pumps, okay? Because when we do that whole road, we're gonna have to tie sump pumps in and do all that stuff. Something like 70% of the people never responded whether they have a sump pump or anything. And we're not gonna do that whole road of drainage and not do it right. The reason why we're doing what we're doing right now down there, we're putting in 2 catch basins, is because there's 1 or 2 residences there that their houses actually get flooded, their basements. And what we're doing there now is a Band-Aid until we get it straightened out to do the whole road. But what it's gonna do is stop these people from having their basements flooded.
Well,
And it's gonna be it's only a couple of day job, and it's something that's gonna help a lot for people who are getting water in their houses. And I do think that with what we just did on Mill Street, with the paving of it, if you notice, that's all tilted the other way towards the school. There's gonna be a lot less water on Connecticut Avenue now because all of that water is draining towards the school where we put catch basins in about 2 years ago. So I think you're gonna see a lot less water there, number one, because of that road being paved. And number two, we are right now trying to take care of the pipe that is clogged and is flooding a couple of people's houses.
I know that, but where all the water comes in, that's the only first drain from Red Mill down to my house. That's the first drain that catches any of the water. And that comes down all the street, comes from the sump pump from my neighbor, and it comes from my backyard, and it just floods that pipe. It can't handle it because the pipe is so small.
Yeah, but those pipes are also kind of are packed full of dirt, which we're going to get the sewer truck up there and jet them out also. You're going to see an improvement in what we got. We're putting 2 catch basins in, and it's going to make an improvement.
Dave and Mr. Curtis, could I ask if you could contact Mr. Van Warmer, because I said this at the venue, we have a public hearing going on right now, and we do have to finish that. If you could contact Mr. Van Warmer.
I've been down there most of the last couple of days, so I haven't seen you.
I've been off 3 days. I've been talking to the construction crews, asking why they're not done.
Well,
they said this
tomorrow,
is done.
you know, I'll be down there in and out tomorrow. So.
Well, I'm at work tomorrow. So I was there for 3 days, and this is the first time that I've seen you here. So,
Can you guys get together?
Eventually.
All right, we'll figure something out.
Rick? Again, these are standards for basically for new construction, new developments as they come in. And I recognize that the gentleman has a problem on Connecticut, and we have been working on that, but the standards do not directly apply to
Right, I figured that. I mean, I just let it go because of the circumstances. Getting back, would anybody else like to speak in favor of our new specifications? And would anybody like to speak in favor of the new specifications? With that, would anybody like to speak against our new specifications? And for the second time? And for the third time? With nothing there, I will thank you for coming to the public hearing and make a motion to close.
Can I just ask a question before we close for Richard and Matt? Will this in any way impact, or is this a step forward in terms of the MS4 process also to have this in place in August?
Yes.
Thank you.
Less pavement means less pervious, or less impervious surface of the ground. Road size will change.
I will make a motion to close. Do I have a second?
Supervisor McKay?
Yes.
Deputy Matter?
Yes.
Deputy Lorraine?
Yes.
Deputy Malone?
Yes.
Yes.